I'm stopping by Spudly this morning in Lehi. I'm taking them on X96 so Kerry, Bill, and Gina can taste Spudnuts.
Hurry, Kerry! I'm almost eating all the donuts.
There. There we go. It's time for donuts with Ben Lee, the Donut Critic, and you brought Spudnuts. Tell me the history of Spudnuts in Utah.
So we've talked about Spudnuts quite a bit, and there is a history. It's actually a pretty deep history, and I will not let Idaho take potato and donuts from us because I feel like Utah is the original. But no, there's a history where German immigrants came over. They've done it, so it's a lot of debate. But there is one known piece of history that is based in Utah, and that's the Spudnut brand. So a couple of brothers made this brand, and it's been distributed nationwide. And one of their shops that carried their flour or carried their mix was Tasty's. Do you guys remember Tasty's?
Yeah.
Yes. We did ads for them.
Yeah, so Tasty's was huge. My wife actually was an employee there, and that's probably why we're a match made in heaven.
Makes perfect sense, Ben.
It does.
But no, I love Spudnuts, and I feel like, why did they go away forever? I mean, I guess they have the Kaysville location still, but for the longest time, we didn't have Spudnuts in Utah. And now we do. And I'm so excited about it because there are so many good properties of Spudnuts. They're softer. I feel like they're a little bit more subtle in flavor.
They use potato flour rather than wheat flour.
Yeah, so they can either do potato starch instead of the flour, or they can do mashed potatoes. I've seen, and I've actually done a recipe with mashed potatoes, and then it makes it just really subtle, dense, and really delicious. So.
They use like the potato buds.
Yes.
Like the potato flakes. Those. Yeah.
When I was a little kid in Ogden, there was a Spudnut store. And we would go down there in the summer on Saturdays, and they'd give us a wire basket and half dozen Spudnuts, bags of Spudnuts, and maybe 10 or 12 half dozens. You'd go door to door, try to sell them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now this is a specific Spudnut store. What is this new one that you've brought us?
Yeah, so this one is called Spudly, if you can see on the camera if you're watching. So this is a Utah brand, a Utah County brand. There you go. Hold it up a little bit. There you go. It's a big stop sign. Look at this. Yeah. Stop for donuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, they started a year ago. So they're going to be celebrating a year in November.
Wow.
And it was from a grandma's recipe. So the owner, Charity Lee, decided, and she said she heard a voice from her grandma. It was like, you need to make these donuts. So all growing up, this was a way for her to bond with her grandma. She was one of 40 grandkids.
One of 40? Wow. 40? Wow.
And, you don't get a lot of time from grandma if you're one of 40. And so making donuts was that connection. So she'd go in, make the donuts, and she did it for years and years. And I actually first tried these in 2019. So 5 years ago, she was doing just some fundraisers for her kids' sports. And I told her, I was like, you need to sell these. And then the next year I went back and I said the same thing. I was like,
you're the donut critic. Why isn't she listening to you?
Well, it was funny because I walked into her house and no lie, there were donuts everywhere. And I was like, you're used to like volume here. Like you can definitely handle the volume. And I was like, oh, you just need a shop so you're not like hanging them from like the curtains and whatnot. But yeah, they were just super delicious. And the thing that they pride themselves on is its homemade taste. And I feel like that's what you don't get from a big franchise. You don't get homemade taste.
Yeah, these do taste homemade. They're I don't know how to describe that, but they're very basic.
Yeah.
But each one is delicious. And the first one I sampled was one that had the Bavarian cream in it. That was great. That was very good. Absolutely delicious.
Yeah, one of my favorites was the raspberry cream. It's the cream cheese. That was the first time I've tried it today, and I was like, oh, I should be ordering that every time.
Now, here's a couple of people who are asking, what's the gluten situation here?
Well, we already talked about, we gave you the gluten.
Yeah, we did gluten-free with Bismarck last time.
So,
but they have said that people that are gluten intolerant, not completely gluten-free, they actually do a lot better with these. So
'Cause
it
it's
actually,
not wheat. Yeah, I guess that makes
Well, I
sense.
think that's the confusion is people go potato flour, then maybe I can have it if it's
Maybe.
gluten-free, you know.
Maybe.
But
Try it.
No, there's still
gluten to it. Yeah.
there's still some gluten involved.
Yeah. Usually it's not 100% on the. It's usually a ratio of potato to the regular flour.
The maple one is very good too.
Yeah, that's the one I go to almost every time. And then the strawberry one's one of my favorites. They use the freeze-dried strawberries, and it really just pops on the flavor.
That's this one.
Yep.
Now, this is interesting, where the location is. Tell people about where it's located.
Yeah, so you are going to miss it if you don't look very closely. So
That's why they have the big stop sign.
that's true. That is true. But if you are on Lehi, Maine, and you know where the McDonald's and the KFC, it's along that 850 East Road, and it's paired up with a gym. So Core Fitness there has just a little side shop, and they're more or less like paired up. And at first I was like, that's kind of funny that they're tied up with a gym and like this, exercise routine. But
You've earned that donut, I think,
That's
at
true.
that point.
no, truly, like that goes hand in hand. People that weightlift are usually pretty big donut fans. I have a few friends in California that they are just massive like weightlifters and they love donuts. Like everything they wear is just pure donuts. But
Well, these are great.
Well, I guess you earned it. Yeah.
These are really, really good.
yeah, and it's a really fun, cool story too. Something to share around. I think that this is what Utah needs. I don't want any more Dunkins. I don't want any more of those big franchises.
I agree.
Well, to Bill's point, like with a Dunkin' Donut, they taste like chemicals to me.
Yeah.
yeah.
I can taste. I don't know why that is, but
No, you're not
if you're
wrong.
able to get a homemade tasting donut at a local donut shop, if you're gonna have a donut, have a good one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, it goes far. Like I feel like when you eat those, you feel like you're part of the community. You feel like you're eating something really good and homemade, rather than just something that's
That's what you need to say next time you go. I'm doing this for the community.
I'm supporting a local business.
It's true. I actually walk in sometimes and my wife looks at me like, "What are you doing with that in your arms?" And it's like, I'm supporting local business.
Absolutely.
Okay?
How could you be against that?
These it is interesting how many local donut shops we have. I mean, independent donut shops. There are a lot of them.
Yeah, Utah actually is one of the bigger ones, and I'm not going to take credit for that fact.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll take credit for it. But no, when I go out to LA or New York, I feel like there are some, homemade or like some like little small shops, but a lot of them are franchises that just, have 5 or 6. Utah is unique. A lot of, single shop owners. And I think like that's like the beauty of it. A lot of innovation and a lot of different options. A lot of people trying to share what they've learned in the past. And it's our job to go out and support them and really, figure out those best.
Now is it my imagination or now I was really hungry and I just ate all of those pieces.
Oh, my.
I ate all of those. But I don't feel full like I think I would if I'd eaten regular donut pieces.
You just keep telling yourself that, Bill.
Well, and those are the ones I gravitate to, the donuts that I can eat too and not feel bad about it. And I don't feel like, they've made of chemicals and you eat them and immediately think, oh man, that was so much sugar, so many chemicals.
These just tasted very fresh and clean and they didn't fill me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah,
really
no.
good. Spudly in Lehi.
In Lehi.
And Ben's always asking for suggestions on.
Oh,
he's
yes.
always looking for new places. I know friends of the program sometimes know about stuff before we do. So if you can think of it doesn't have to be donuts, but it's usually a locally owned sweet treat sort of place. You can email us radiofromhell@x96.com, or you can get a hold of Ben directly on his social media too.
Yep.
Instagram.
On Donut Critic. And I love those gems. I love when people go in, eat something, and it's so unique and so special that they want to share it. This is what we like to do. We like to eat and see what those special items are and things that people want to go and support. So yeah, share that.
Little local cafes or anything like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Because there's a lot.
Yeah. Benjamin Lee, it is you look for the Donut Critic on Instagram and that'll take you wherever else you need to go. Thanks for the Spud Nuts.
Yeah, thank you.
They're great.
Thank you, sir.